Mark Daly for Paralyzed Veterans of America News Online, and we're at the Summit, Summit 2011 in Orlando, Florida. And it's nice to bump into someone that actually viewers of these podcasts will be very familiar with, the National President of Paralyzed Veterans of America, who had just given a good rah-rah start to the whole summit, and that's Bill Lawson. Bill, good to see you, sir, and getting you into focus here. So, the wonders of modern technology.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mark? Good. I'm doing fine.
I'm doing great, thanks. Let me get myself situated here so I can interview you properly. So, as I say, people love this. You know, they send us emails and say, Mark, you can't even hold your camera properly, but there you go.
Oh, look at you.
All right, here we go. But I think you're in the shot now. I'm trying to make you look as good as possible, Mr.
The camera?
It's like Star Trek, right? Remember they said, right, okay, we're going to bump into whatever kind of aliens that they have on Star Trek. Anyway, Bill, tell me about the summit. Why is this so important to Paralyzed Veterans of America? I know healthcare is a huge issue for you over the years as a campaigner for quality VA healthcare. Is that really the reason why Paralyzed Veterans presents a summit like this?
Well, yeah, we present this summit because we want to gather the greatest minds that treat spinal cord injured people to come together, and so they can work out some of the problems that they're facing, as well as share information, which hopefully one day will lead to a cure for spinal cord injury.
And of course, the other thing is, Bill, and this is something that I guess people are just watching. Some of our viewers are just watching, you know, this podcast for the first time and don't know much about paralyzed veterans, and maybe don't know much about people with disabilities. But it's interesting, you know, when you talk to folks, sometimes just a new therapy is a major breakthrough. You know, for example, if someone can perhaps better control their bladder, or they can maybe be a bit more ambulatory, they can move from a wheelchair to something else, that can be a major breakthrough as well, right? So it's not just about walking again, it's about all sorts of other things.
It's not just about walking, Mark. It's about a quality of life. Right. Until they have actually come up with a cure that completely takes care of that and people can walk, we have to continue to strive to create new technology that will make the lives of people with spinal cord injury a little bit easier.
Well, you know, I'm just looking here, Bill, because you're at the PVA booth at the minute, and I'm just going to pan up here so people can see Changing Lives, Building Futures, which is the tagline in the organisation. And, you know, behind you is a whole vista of things that we work on, and sometimes, even though I have the pleasure with my staff of telling that story all the time, it's just an amazing list of things that we do, from helping people, you know, find jobs, to helping them, you know, get into sports and all these other things. But since we're at a health summit, let's say that you and I could jump into a time machine and go forward 10 years. What sorts of things would you like to see if you and I could jump into that time machine, get out at the other end? What would you like to see that has happened?
Well, naturally, I would like to see that we no longer need these wheelchairs, that they've come up with some way to build the bridge for all of our nerves to be able to connect back together from that spinal cord injury to where we could walk again. But, you know, I don't know that that's possible within 10 years. Most certainly, they're coming out with a lot more technology. In fact, they've got a device here at this summit, at the expo here, that it's kind of like an outside skeleton that actually I can stand up and walk with that prosthetic device. But hopefully in 10 years we won't need something like that again.
Have you actually tried that device yourself, or is it something that you want to try, or what?
I have not tried it. I talked to one of the care providers from the Bronx VA. They've got 5 or 6 of those that they've already given to veterans, and they're really thrilled with it. So, you know, I'm going to take an interest in it and go by and look at that booth and talk to them a little bit more about it.
Do you know, Bill, just changing gears for a second, I know that one of the things that you might be surprised to hear this, but we, you know, from our tour, the tour that you did, and I had the pleasure of accompanying you around America in April, a lot of people are asking already on social media, you know, are you going to do it again next year? So I just wanted to ask you, since you and I haven't really had the chance to talk about it, during Awareness Month, you will be touring America again, right?
Absolutely. We're already making plans for that, Mark, as you know, and I'm looking forward to that tour across America again in April. of this 2012. We'll visit different cities than what we visited this past April, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was fun. I came back with a lot of stories of courage from veterans who were newly injured and what they had to go through in their rehab and where they're at today. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I want to carry the message across. I want to emphasize more about the plight of the disabled person and the unemployment. That you know, it's very difficult for a person with a disability, severe disability, to get a job, and we've got to correct that. And I think that during the tour this coming April, I'm going to really push that.
Well, you know, I think it's not to go off on a complete tangent here, but since we're talking about it, Bill, I mean, I think that as we approach 2012, it is election year, and it's bound to be a huge issue for all of the candidates who are running in the election, in the general election. And I know that obviously we're an organisation that doesn't have any political affiliations. But I presume that you do have one message to all the candidates about hiring veterans with disabilities and helping to create jobs, right?
Well, I do. I would ask every candidate just to take and imagine themselves paralyzed for just a few minutes and think about the obstacles that we have to face every day, and then make it their life's mission to help a paralyzed veteran help themselves. And that's they've got to start creating some more jobs, and they've got to give some incentives to encourage people to hire disabled individuals.
Bill Lawson, National President of Paralyzed Veterans, our campaigner-in-chief for all of the things that Paralyzed Veterans does. Bill, thank you so much for your leadership, sir, and enjoy the summit.
I will. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.